All right, good morning, everybody. Even though it's still freezing cold out there, we still made it. We had the high step of coming into the church because of the snow, but hey, we're still here. I know it's been a little while for you guys out there on YouTube land since we've been out. The last one I did was about marriage, and I thought that was just going to be that. But God says, nope, you're going to do one about husbands and wives. So today, I was like, okay, Lord, which one do I pick on first, the husband or wife? And He said, pick on the husband first. So today, the service is going to be about being a husband. Now, I understand I have 3 women here that don't have a husband, and probably a lot of people will be watching this that don't have a husband. But if you listen, even though you don't have one, you'll know which one you should get instead of just picking anybody. So, the first thing I want to say, the first thing that needs to be said, and again, this is about the guys, this is about the husbands. Number one, and this is the most important. When you get married, it's not you, Tarzan, and then Jane. That's not what marriage is about. It's not about when you get married that you own that person, because nobody owns anybody. So that's the first thing the guys have got to keep in their head when they decide to get married. It's just not me, Tarzan, and you, Jane. Okay? Men and women, husband and wife, all have a role to play in a marriage. But the first thing you got to realize is it takes 2. It's not 1. And as I said before, when you get married, it's 2 that becomes 1. And there's a lot of guys out there that think that they're automatic owners when they get married. They think they automatically own that woman. Okay? Well, you don't. You don't own anybody. All right? But you do have a role. You're a protector, you're a provider. All right? That's our jobs. We're there to protect you and to provide. Okay? If you ain't doing that, don't be married. It's not, yeah. Okay. Guys, women are not trophies. All right? You hear this all the time. Well, you got a trophy wife. Why? Why is she a trophy? Because she looks good? That's not a trophy. If you're out there just looking for the prettiest woman that you can find to get married to, you're getting married for the wrong reason. You want a woman that's going to treat you nice, that's going to treat you right, that's going to be there for you, not one that's always going to want your wallet. You want to pick a wife that's going to back you up every time. That's going to be by your side through the thick and thin. Not somebody who just looks good. Because I'm telling you, the looks will go away, and the wants and the needs are only get worse. All right, so you got to be careful who you pick as a wife. Don't just pick anybody. All right, now I said this before and I'll say it again. Do not marry a woman unless you've been with her for at least a year. All right, and women, that goes for you too. Don't marry a man unless you've been with him for a year. But right now we're picking on husbands. You do not truly know a person in 2 or 3 months. Now, I've known some people that's got married in 2 or 3 months of knowing each other, and knock on wood and thank God it has worked out for them. But not very many of them. Maybe 1 out of 10. Okay? We can't choose our wives based on looks. We want to choose our wives based on their inner self. Okay? How are they with people? Okay, preachers for sure. Men preachers for sure. You do not want to pick a wife that's not a people person. Imagine if you're a preacher and you pick a wife that don't like people, that don't care about other people. You're hurting yourself. And that goes with regular men. If you're not picking a wife that'll work with you and that'll help you, you're causing more issues than what you need. All right? And let's be honest. I know I'm sitting in here with room for a woman, and I shouldn't say this, but let's be honest. Too many women nowadays only want a guy for what they can buy them, for what they want. They're not looking for the love. They're not looking for the nourishment. They're not looking for the protection. They're looking to see how big your wallet is. All right? You don't want that kind of woman. You don't want that kind of a woman because she's going to break you. She's going to break you down. All right? She's going to do everything except for what you need. So be wise when picking one. Just because they look good don't mean they are good. Okay? I know for most guys, looks are important. All right? If they don't catch their eye, then they're not interested. But you know how many women out there, and I know a few of them, that would be an excellent wife. And they're not a 10. Let's be honest, that's how guys score women, 1 through 10. All right? I'm sure women do that too. And they're not a 10. But they got the most beautiful heart you ever seen in the world. A girl I work with, I think most of you guys know. She's a wonderful woman. Wonderful. She's got a good heart. She cares about people, so on and so forth. She's not a 10. Look-wise, but she's a plus 20 inside. And that's what a guy should be looking for. What's the inside like, not the outside? The outside fades away. Okay, let's be honest. The older we get, the more the barn needs repairing. Okay, let's just be honest. The older we get, the more barn needs repairing. All right? Guys don't wear makeup, but sometimes I think we should. Okay, because we just get to that point where time settles in. All right, you're not as young as you used to be. You can't do the stuff you used to be, so on and so forth. But I do have a question. And I asked this question only to make a point here. All right? So each one of you think about this when I ask this. To you, what is considered an inappropriate age gap? Now think about that because I want answers. What's an inappropriate age gap? If anybody's got an answer, go ahead and say it.
30 years.
30 years. Okay. So to you, a 60-year-old, a 30-year-old's okay.
That's pushing it.
Well, that's why I'm asking you. What's the age gap for you?
What you approve
of? Huh?
What you approve of?
Yeah. So like you're well, I'm not gonna have you say your age, okay? But let's say you're 40 years old. What's the youngest guy you would marry? Maybe that'll make it a little easier.
And
go ahead, if you got one, go ahead.
52.
52? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're 80 right now, but you would marry a 52-year-old.
I'm already married to a 52-year-old.
You're already married to a 52-year-old? Okay.
Passed away. Passed away.
Now, you've been married for 52 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody?
The way I look at it, I think the guy needs to be older than the woman.
Okay, the guy should be older. Okay. You got another one?
If I was 40, I wouldn't marry nobody younger than 20.
Nobody younger than 20. So 20 years is safe for you.
I'd say that, yeah.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that is because, and this is going back to the prove it to the man thing, okay? You see a lot of older men, I'm talking like 60s, 70s, and 80s, running around with a 20-year-old.
It's like, wow.
Now,
No.
Why are they with that 20-year-old? If you're 70 and 80 years old, let's face it, there's things you can't do no more. Okay? What do you have in common with a 20-year-old if you're 80 years old? Nothing. See, that guy is just seeing that girl because of her looks. And I guarantee that 20-year-old is sucking all the money she can out of that 70 or 80-year-old.
Gold digger.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. Guys, you got to watch what you pick.
And some of them might be out looking for a younger person because maybe they have a lot to offer and nobody to give it to.
Okay, well, let's run with that one. They got a lot to offer, nobody to give it to. All right? Why would you do somebody 50, 60 years younger than you? Is that a bad thing or no? There's no wrong answers here. Is that a bad thing or no?
I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. But
Okay. Well, see, that's what I'm going through. But guys pick girls, younger girls. There's guys in their 30s dating girls that's 18. All right? What do you got in common? What do you talk about? What could your conversations possibly be about? She don't know nothing. I'm 60 years old, 60 plus. I'm gonna stop right there, just plus. If I would date a 20-year-old, 25-year-old, 30-year-old, what do I got in common with them?
you don't.
I'm gonna talk about the music I grew up with. All right, the 50s and 60s. She's gonna talk about the music she grew up with, whatever the music's called nowadays. What do you got in common? You're just dating or marrying that woman because of the way she looks. You're not getting a mutual respect out of this. Okay? To you, she's a trophy. To her, you're a sugar daddy. Okay? There's nothing there. There's nothing holding that marriage together. You need to find somebody that's like-minded. Okay? You need to find somebody that's got the same goals you do. Now, goals differ from person to person, but you're still heading in the same direction. You can't have this one over here wanting one thing and then your husband or wife wanting something different. It's not going to go anywhere. And men, when you get a wife, you didn't get her to control. I know there's men out there right now. Listen, 8 years plus as a police officer. This is me, 8 years plus as a police officer, 13 years in ministry. I have seen some weird marriages. And I have found most of the guys try to control their women. Now, the Bible does say that a woman should submit to her husband. All right? But come on. Come on.
There's a limit.
There's a limit to that submitting. Okay? You should not be trying to control your wife, control her every move, control what she says, control what she does. That's not a marriage. You got to understand, a marriage is between two people that love each other. Two people that want to spend their life together until death. Nowadays, that's a year that they break up. 2 years if you're lucky. Back in me and Jan's days, you stayed together no matter what. You made it work. Nowadays, they don't do that. So if you don't truly love that woman and truly want to spend the rest of your life until you're dead with that woman, without cheating, without controlling, don't marry her. Don't marry her. If you just want to play, which you shouldn't be, but if you want to play, then just do that. Don't tie down somebody that you don't want to be with. All right? Okay. Marriage is a covenant. And I've said that to a few people. They're like, I don't know about that.
I was going to say, most of them don't even know what that means anymore.
But it is. It's a covenant. It's just not words or a license that says you're married. You married that woman because you loved her, because you wanted her, because you wanted to spend the rest of your life with her. You married that woman because she completed you. Understand that, guys. She completes you. You always feel relaxed around her. If you're around a woman, you're married to a woman that you don't feel relaxed around, you picked the wrong one. If you got to come home, and you can't take your armor off and you feel like you got to defend yourself at home, you picked the wrong woman. You picked the wrong one. You want to be around a woman that gives you peace. You want to be around a woman that you ain't got to argue with all the time. Is arguments going to happen in a marriage? Yes. Come on, you're two people cohabitating in the same area. Eventually, one's going to get upset about the other. All right? But guys, if you're upset with your wife just because she didn't cook dinner the way you wanted to, come on, grow up. Grow up. We're not here to make wives slaves. And if you're marrying a woman just so you had a slave, I'm sorry, that went out many years ago. You marry a woman because you love her. You want her. You can't live without her. Okay? So, now this is according to the Bible, not Dwayne. In Colossians chapter 3, verse 19, let me get in the right area here. 3:19, it says this: Husbands, love your wives, and be not bitter against them. Don't be mad at your wife all the time because she just don't do something that you didn't like. Boo-hoo, you're doing stuff that she don't like. Okay, that's the way it is. You can't have bitterness, because I'm going to tell you something. Too much bitterness turns into hate. And we all know what hate turns into. Nothing good comes out of hate. And if you're holding bitter against your wife, eventually you're going to hate your wife. And eventually you're going to start putting her down. You're going to mentally abuse her, or you're going to physically abuse her. Everything she does is going to be wrong to you just because you say so. You cannot have animosity against your wife. And let me tell you something. I've heard this a long time ago, and I believe it. Do not go to bed angry at your wife. Don't do it. If you're mad about your wife about something, like an adult, talk to her about it. Communication is a big thing in marriage. Men don't communicate. We was never taught to communicate. We was taught if we have a problem, suck it up and keep going. Because our problems don't matter. That's what we was taught. If we got issues, get over it. Be a man. Okay, so men are trained not to talk. Okay? Wives don't understand that. Because I think in school, you guys must have had some class about feelings. Because you show them in a marriage. Okay? But we'll pick on the women next week. This week is about men. We don't talk. We don't know how to let our feelings out. Okay? And nowadays, probably since the 90s, if a man does show his feelings towards a woman, she will turn around and use that against him later. Okay? That's why men don't talk. But I'm telling you as a pastor, and I'm telling you as what this Bible says, open your mouth. Swallow your pride. Swallow your, I'm a man, and talk. Because you're not going to get nothing accomplished if you bury it. Don't go talk to your friends.
You're just asking for trouble there.
Yeah, let's be honest. Let's be honest. How many's got a friends? How many's got friends that will actually tell you the truth? Nobody. If I had a wife and I'd walk up to one of my friends, which is very few far in between, I can count them on my fingers. But if I walk up to them and ask them a question, the very first thing they're going to do is agree with me. Even if I'm wrong, they're going to agree with me. They're not going to tell me the truth. That's why you have to talk to your wife. That's why you need to work it out with your wife, not people. And please, oh God, please don't get on the internet looking for your answers. Come on. You get on the internet looking for answers, half of them has already failed marriages 5 or 6 times. Why would you take advice off of them?
Right.
Okay? Come on.
Or never been married before themselves.
Or never been married before, right? So don't go on the internet looking for this. Don't ask other people. We need to open up to our wives. We need to tell them what's going on. We cannot fix a problem if the wife don't know what the problem is. Okay? We cannot fix anything if both parties don't know what's up. Remember, it's 2 fleshes become 1. Okay? So if one's holding back, the other one don't know what's going on. Okay? Women are not like God. God knows what's going on 24/7, 365 days a year. Women don't. If you're constantly showing your wife that you're mad, and she asks you why you're mad, and you don't tell her why, what are you doing to her brain? Think about it. Women think about everything. And they're going to sit there and they're going to try to figure out over and over and over and over and over again what you're mad about or what you're upset about. Okay? You don't tell them, they don't know. Now, some women, if they've been with you long enough, they can figure it out pretty quick. But in the new marriage, no, that takes a while. So don't be bitter towards your wife. Now, I know I'm about to get a few weird looks right here, but I got to say this. Wife is the weakest out of the 2. All right? Now, there is things that some women can do that men can do, but typically, you're the weaker sex. All right? So, in knowing that, if you're always showing force and stuff like that to the woman, she's going to back down from you. She's going to lose connection with you. She's going to get further and further away. If you're hitting her and beating her, she don't trust you one bit. And unfortunately, as a cop for 9 years, I've seen this. But they won't leave because they're scared. Okay? That's not how a wife should be. That's not how a wife should be.
I'd be totally opposite.
Some are. Some are, but most ain't. Okay, so don't be bitter towards your wife. Show her, be happy with her. Let her know that you're glad to be with her. Give her hugs, give her kisses, give her compliments. Take her out on date nights. Valentine's comes. Get her chocolates, flowers, or whatever. Show her that you actually care about her. That she's not your slave. She's not your property. Okay? And don't get upset over stupid stuff. All right? Okay? There's guys out there that get mad if a woman does this. Automatically, they want to turn that into a fight. Well, I don't like the way you hit that table. Get over yourself. It's not your hand or your table. Get over it. Don't start an argument over it. Grow up. Won't you ask her why she hit the table like that?
Just be glad it wasn't you.
Yeah, just be glad it wasn't you she hit. Okay? Find out why she did that. Don't be mad at her because she did it. If she did it, there's a reason. Okay? Because we again, I go back to this because it's true. It's always me, Tarzan, and you, Jane. You have to do what I say you have to do when you have to do it, how I tell you to do it. No. Women got their own minds. Women can make their own decisions. Now, should a woman ask a man about certain decisions? Yes, because you're one. Nothing should be done in the marriage unless both agree. Okay? That's the way it should be. Now, I'm going to say something that's going to upset some people here, but I'm a preacher and I don't care. No, I do care, but this I don't. You hear so many people that says marry in your race. Boom. Because if that was something that God said, which he never did, but if that is something that God said, why did Moses marry a black woman? Moses married a woman from Ethiopia. Ethiopia is black. Okay? But understand something. If you marry a woman from a different culture, she's not going to be like a white woman. She's not going to be like a Caucasian. They have their ways. They do things a lot different. Okay? They do things a lot different. And if you're going to marry one of them, you got to understand their background. And they're going to do and say things that you don't understand. But you need to get on the same page. Get on the same page. Now, how much should you love your wife? Well, this next one's really going to clear that up for you. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 28, it says this. Now check this out, guys. This is for you. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. How much should you love your wife? Men, you should love your wife as much as you love yourself.
That could be a problem.
You should love your wives as much as you love yourself. Now check this out. How many people out there are so in love with themselves that they don't see anybody but themselves? They look in the mirror thinking they're just the best thing in the world. If you're that type of man, that's how much you should be loving your husband. Or why did I just say that? Wife. I strike that out. That's how much you should be loving your wife. I get on husband, I got men and thoughts in my head. No. That's how much you should be loving your wife, husbands. Okay? You should love your wife equally or more than you love yourself.
And that's where a lot of the problem comes in with, because most of the men doesn't love themselves, so that's why they treat the women like trash.
Now, I was just getting ready to mention that. That is true. There is a lot of people out there that do not love themselves. And the Bible specifically tells you, if you do not love yourself, then you can't love anybody else. So if you're a man that does not love yourself, work on yourself first. Then find a wife. And when you find her, you should love her as much as you love yourself. Men, if you are so in love with yourself that you go out and buy cars, you go out and buy motorcycles, toys, okay? This is what you do. You buy yourself toys. Many, many different toys. But you never buy your wife nothing. That's wrong. You're not loving them as you love yourself. Men, we are supposed to sacrifice as being a husband. So in other words, if you want a new guitar, but your wife needs something, and she needs it, you should be getting that for her and skipping the guitar. If there's not food on the table, you're doing something wrong. If there's not a roof over their head, you're doing something wrong. If that woman ain't got clothes to put on, you're doing something wrong. And this is why God says, love your wife as you love yourself. Okay? Women, I know I'm picking women next week, but I got to say this. Women always make sure, well, they used to, I don't know about nowadays, but always made sure their men was taken care of. fixing food, wash your clothes, clean the house, so on and so forth.
The wifely duties.
Okay, their wifely duties. Okay, men have men duties, but they don't do them. If your wife's upset about something, you should be man enough to go ask her what's wrong instead of just letting it go on. Okay? This is the kind of stuff you should know. If you want your wife to do something for you, you ought to be able to do that back for your wife. If you want your wife to cook and clean and have clothes for you, then you should be willing to do that for your wife. Now, back in me and Jane's days, way back when, okay, there was such things as housewives. Because back in them days, men made enough money to where the wife could stay home and do the cooking and cleaning. Homemaker. Is that what they're calling them nowadays? Okay. Back in my days, they was housewives.
AKA
Okay.
homemaker. Same thing.
But nowadays, you can't do that. But back in them days, you could. Okay? So it was kind of the social status that the woman stayed home while the man went to work. Okay? That was, again, the wife's job. Cook, clean, take care of the kids or whatever. Okay? You can't do that nowadays. And the women having to work, they don't always have time to cook supper, to clean the house, to do the laundry, whatever the case may be. As a husband, you should be willing to step in and help out with some of that. Now, I know most men can't cook, so you probably don't want us cooking for you, but we could do the laundry or something like that. Okay? Why? Because we love them as much as we love ourselves. Okay, that's basically what that's saying here. Whatever you would do for you, do for your wife too. Okay? Your wife is not your property. You don't own her. Just because you got that piece of paper from whoever you got it from, if you read on there, it don't say anywhere ownership. Okay? So you don't own her. You don't treat her bad. You don't physically or mentally abuse them. And to a lot of women, mentally abuse can be something simple that a man don't think is wrong, but it is wrong. I mean, let's be honest. Nowadays, we got some pretty touchy people out there. So we got to remember, love her like I love myself. Okay? Staying in Ephesians, and we're going to go to 25. Now, I like this one. And this one here is what's going to throw a lot of men off because, let's face it, some men don't know about God. But when I tell you this and you watch the video, you know. Husbands, love your wives even as Christ also loved his church and gave himself for it. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Okay? When you marry somebody, you got to see that person as someone that gave themselves to you. They didn't have to. That woman didn't have to say yes. That woman could have said, no, I don't think so. Okay? She gave herself to you. Not only is she giving you mentally, but she's giving you physically too. And that's something you should respect. That's something you should love until the end of the time and no matter what. See, guys has got too many conditions. Nowadays, guys has got way too many conditions. I'll love you if. If you stop doing this, then it's over. If you don't do this for me, I won't do that for you. Why? Get over yourself. You're not that important.
It's not all about them.
The wife gave herself. Now think about this. To most guys, that's just that don't mean nothing. That woman, when you asked her to marry you and she said yes, that woman loved you so much that she was willing to give up her freedom to be with you. When she says yes, she said, yes, I will be with you, I will stand beside you, and I'll do for you everything that I can. So you need to love that woman as much as God loves you. And I'm going to tell you something, and this is going to scare a lot of men. God loves you unconditionally. God loves you no matter what mistakes you make or what sin you commit. God still loves you. That's how you should be loving your wife. And if you're not willing to do that, don't get married. Again, marriage is not just a piece of paper that says y'all went in front of someone. It's a covenant. It's a covenant agreement you guys made between each other. What do I mean by that? Let's do your wedding vows. Do you take this woman to love, cherish, so on and so forth? Okay? The woman's asked the same thing. And you both said yes. Now that's the covenant part. You both agreed to the same thing. Nowhere in there does it say, it says until death do you apart. It doesn't say, oh, at least for the next couple of years. It don't say that. It says until death do you apart. You're supposed to love that woman until either she passes or you pass. And when she passes, you should still love her. She's not there anymore, but you should still love her. Now, am I saying don't ever get remarried? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying you got to stop and take a look at your wife. Okay? If your wife starts dolling up like she used to, and she's just running around in raggy clothes and no makeup and hair that looks like it sticks out here because she ain't fixed it forever, there's a problem. You need to go find out what that problem is. Because I guarantee you, she is not feeling worthy anymore. Why is she feeling that way? Because you made her that way. And you need to stop. You should tell your wife daily that you love her, even if you're mad at her. Say it on the way out the door if you have to. Love you. Okay? That woman needs to know that she's appreciated and needed. Daily. And if you're not doing that, you're failing. Because I guarantee you, when you get up and brush your teeth in the mirror, you're looking at yourself. You're complimenting yourself. Well, she needs that too. Remember the earlier scripture. Love her as you love yourself. So anything and everything that you would do for you, you should be doing for her. A lot of marriages fail because they stopped doing date nights. When y'all first started meeting each other, y'all went out every weekend doing this or that or whatever. That shouldn't stop. And I know somebody out there is going to say, well, we got kids. Well, yes, you got kids. But they have a thing now called babysitters. Obviously, pick somebody you trust. But you can still get out. While their kid's in school, you can do something. Okay? She needs to know that she's still wanted. She needs to know that you still see her as you used to. All right? So we got to keep this in mind, guys. We got to keep this in mind. We have to treat our women with respect if you want respect back. You got to treat your women with love if you want love back. Remember, whatever you put out is what you're going to get back. Okay? If you're throwing out an attitude all the time about your woman, you're going to get an attitude back. And then you're going to be mad at her because she did it. Well, hey, goofball, you did it first. All right? If you put out love towards your wife, trust me, you're going to get all the love you ever needed. If you treat a woman right, this woman is going to treat you like a king. She's going to treat you like a king. But if you treat her like trash, she's going to treat you like trash. There's going to be arguments all the time. There's going to be fights all the time. And that shouldn't be. Love them as you love yourself. Love them as Christ loves his church. Now let me get you an understanding of something. This building ain't the church. This building is not a church. It's you guys that come in here. It's us that comes in here as the church. It's the people. This is what God means. Love her like I love the church. Love her like God loves you. If you find the right woman, not the one that just looks good, but the one that actually is good, if you find her, you found something better than gold. You found something better than silver. You found something better than money. And if you found that, you should be treating her like that. You don't own them. You're not Tarzan. They're not Jane. You don't live in the jungle. Okay? It's a covenant between you two and God. When you go to a church to get married, you're getting married under the covenant of God. If you get married by a judge, first of all, that was a mistake. Okay? Or go to Las Vegas and get married in a love chapel. Come on. That's a failure right off the top. Okay? Respect. Love. Caring. Provide. Protect. Stand up for your woman, even in your own family. If you married a woman that your family didn't exactly agree with, wow. They didn't marry her, you did. And if they don't like it, too bad. If you two love each other and you two are getting along and so on and so forth, do not let family split you up. Don't do it. Take that for her. Let them know why you married that person. Don't agree with them. If you agreed with them, you shouldn't have got married to begin with. Okay? So like I said, this week was the guy's turn. Next week will be the women's turn. And I might do this on my own little privacy so that way you women don't come up here and beat me up afterwards. But this is stuff that's got to be said. It's got to be done. Okay? Men, don't go partying every weekend and come home and treat your wife like trash. Stop it. Don't beat your wife. Be honest. She's never did anything that bad that she needs hit. Nobody in the world does anything that bad they need hit. If she says something to you that you didn't like, boo-hoo. You probably tell her stuff every day that she don't like.
Maybe some of it needs to be said.
And maybe some of it needs to be said. Amen on that one. Okay? That's where communication comes in. You got to communicate. You got to tell them what's bugging you. Even though we're taught not to, we got to learn to open up. And women, when they do open up, please don't use it against them. Don't use it against them. That's why a lot of men don't open up. Because they know it's going to be used against them a week or two down the road. All right? When you guys are communicating and you guys are talking, take it serious. Take it to heart. Because this is only going to help your marriage, not ruin it. Okay? And guys, if you're just going to marry a girl because of the way she looks or because what she can offer you, you're getting married for the wrong reason. It's not going to last. It's not going to last at all. You see that nowadays.
I was going to say, that's 90% of the marriages anymore.
Yeah, you're right. That's a big percentage of marriages nowadays. They're just married because they look good or because of what they can do. That's the wrong reasons. You marry somebody because you love them and you want them till the day you die. Okay? When I got married, that's the first thing I said. You know, we're in this till death. I don't just walk away. Unfortunately, they did. Okay? But that tells me something. That was the wrong one. Okay? God has somebody for everyone. In other words, God picked out a particular person for that man. The problem is that men can't wait. And a lot of women can't either. We can't wait for that someone that God picked out. Okay? So we got to hurry up and rush it because we got other things on our mind. And we normally pick the wrong ones. If we could just wait till the one that God sent, then we'd have the right one. Okay, well, how do I know? We said this in the last marriage one. How do I know she's the right one? You just know. You just know. It's just like you can't live without her. She's on your mind all the time. You dream about her. You wake up, she's your first thought. You want to text her and tell her. Or you want to talk to her and tell her. You want to call her. It's just you know. There's just something inside of you that just matches. It's not the looks. It's just something the inside. It's just like your two spirits, just bam, they're together.
It's like magnetic force.
Yeah, exactly. It's like magnets. They just bam. That's the way it is. And if you're not feeling that, then no, that's not it. That's not the one. Okay? So like I said, this week was picking on guys. Next week I'll be picking on the women. And I'm going to wear my armor just in case y'all start throwing rocks. I'll be ready. But if I'm going to pick on the men, I got to pick on the women too. And I'm not really picking here. What I'm really doing is stating facts. Telling you what God thinks about marriage. And letting you know, which, like right now, we're here, we're not married. None of us are. Used to be, but ain't now. Used to be, but ain't now. Okay? But as a woman, if you're not married, now you know what you're supposed to be looking for. Don't look for just any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Okay? And I've said this and I'll say it again. If you are a Christian person, do not marry a non-Christian person. All right? Don't do it. You cannot change people. You can't do it. If you're a Christian, you believe in God, you love God, you go to church and so on and so forth, and you marry a non-Christian person, I'll never see you again. I might see you for a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, then you'll be gone. So don't do it. And think about it. If you're a Christian, they're not a Christian, what do you got in common? What do you got in common? Okay? So if you're a Christian, find a Christian person. All right? Because then you guys can worship together. You can go to church together. You've got God in your relationship, which is very important. Because if you got a relationship without God, then I guess you got Satan. And having Satan is not good for a relationship. Okay? So marry somebody that's got the same beliefs as you.
And for the ones that is Christians and they can't seem to find the Christian person, and you're like, oh, I'm going to be by myself for the rest of my life or whatever. Don't worry about that because you're not by yourself.
No.
You still got God.
You're never alone.
Never.
You're never alone. You're right. You're never alone. Because your mate ain't showed up yet does not mean you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. Remember, God works in timing. God works suddenly. If you ain't got that man or woman yet, there's a reason. Number one, you probably got to work on something. Let's be honest. There's probably something you got to work on.
Or they do.
Or they do. They got something they got to work on. Okay? Now, okay, here it is. It's tell on preacher time. All right? It's tell on preacher time. I got trust issues. All right? I got trust issues.
That's 90% of the world.
That is 90% of the world. But I've got reasons to have them. Okay? I got reasons to have them. I got trust issues. And I know that's why I don't have a woman right now. Because I'd be, in my head, I'd be questioning everything. Where was you? That's come it took you so long. You just went to the store. Why did it take you an hour? That would be the stuff going through my head. And God knows that. That's why God's keeping me single. Because he's like, no, you're not going to do that. No. When you get rid of that issue, when we work this out, then maybe I'll think about it. Okay? I have reasons to have trust issues, as most of us do. Okay? Because we all, at one point in time, had boyfriends or girlfriends or something like that maybe we shouldn't have had. Okay? But that's my biggest problem. I got trust issues. I love people. And I just don't trust people. And I know that's why God's going, get over yourself. Then we'll find you a woman. Okay? So if you are single right now, there's a reason. If you are a Christian woman or a man and you are single right now, there's a reason. You've got something that needs to be taken care of, or they got something that needs to be taken care of. And when that happens, you'll meet. But until then, you got God, you got friends, you got family. You're never alone. God's with you all the time. And let's face it, if you mess up in front of God, he's not going to put you down for it. Now, he may say, Crystal, you know that wasn't right. But that'd be the end of it. I got to pick on somebody.
When God points the finger, we all know.
When God points the finger, you know you did something wrong. That's fact. That is fact. Okay, so again, if you're not married, you're a female, now you know what to look for. You're going to look for somebody that loves you, that cherishes you, that will provide for you, that will protect for you, and will love you as much as he loves himself or more. If you can't find that in a man, walk away. Say, sorry. No. If that man, go. I know, Lord. I know. Don't marry a man that likes to play video games. Because he's going to spend more time playing that game than he is with you. And I see this all the time. 30, 40-year-old man in there spending 5 or 6 hours on a video game while his wife's sitting out there on the couch. Come on, you didn't marry the video game, you married your wife. If he don't show equal value as you, don't get around him. Don't marry him. Stay away from him. Because you're a convenience. What do I mean by that? He'll see you when he wants something. And if he don't want something, don't bug him. And that's what I see a bunch nowadays on both sides. Okay? So if he's not willing to spend time with you, if he's not willing to show you love, show you caring, walk away. Don't even marry him. All right? So, there's you some helpful hints for you that's still single. All right, so next week, like I said, it'll be the females' time. And like I said, I'll be wearing helmets and all that, just so I don't get beat up with baseball bats. But I got to say stuff just like I did with the men. I got to say to you women too. Okay? And obviously none of us here are married. So, again, this will just be something for the guys to look for, as I gave you women something to look for. So in that, may God bless you. May God be with you at all time, give you peace, give you love, and give you joy. In the name of Jesus.